Imagine standing at the middle of a dense Siberian forest, the air sharp with frost, and the sound of a drum echoing through the trees. A figure draped in animal hides and adorned with feathers, bones, and bells steps into the firelight. The rhythm grows stronger, faster, until you feel it in your chest like the heartbeat of the earth itself. This is not a show. This is not entertainment. This is a ritual, an ancient bridge between the seen and the unseen, between human beings and the world of spirits. Shamanism is not a single religion. It has no Bible, no Quran, no one-size-fits-all doctrine. Instead, it is a universal way of connecting to the spirit world that transcends language, race, and geography. From the icy tundra of Mongolia to the humid jungles of the Amazon, from the peaks of the Andes to the plains of North America, shamanism has appeared wherever humans have longed to explain the mysteries of life, death, and the cosmos. And the most extraordinary part? Let us begin in Siberia, the spiritual cradle of shamanism. The very word shaman originates here, from the Tungusic language meaning one who knows. In these vast, snowy landscapes, shamans have long served as mediators between humans and spirits. They enter altered states of consciousness through rhythmic drumming, chanting, or sometimes with the help of wild herbs and fungi. Their role is to heal, to protect, and to guide their community. But the drumbeat does not end in Siberia. Thousands of miles away, deep in the Amazon rainforest, shamanism takes on a very different face. Here, the shamans, known as ayahuasqueros, brew a sacred drink called ayahuasca, a mixture of vines and leaves that unlocks visions of staggering intensity. A night in an ayahuasca ceremony can feel like an entire lifetime compressed into hours. Participants may encounter their deepest fears, meet ancestral spirits, or receive visions of animals, gods, and galaxies. Travel north to the Native American tribes of North America, and you find other profound expressions of shamanism. The sweat lodge is one such practice. Imagine entering a small, dome-shaped hut made of branches and hides, heated with glowing stones. As water is poured over the stones, steam fills the dark space. The air becomes thick and hot. Prayers are spoken, songs are sung, and each breath feels like both a struggle and a blessing. This is purification, yes, but more than that, it is rebirth. Cross the ocean to Africa, where shamanism weaves through countless traditions. In South Africa, shamans are known as sangomas. In Central Africa, they may be called ngangas. These healers draw upon the wisdom of ancestors, the power of plants, and the rhythm of drums to cure illness, restore balance, and communicate with the spirit world. Rituals are often electrifying scenes. Dancers circle a fire, the drums pound relentlessly, the healer trembles, possessed by ancestral energy. Meanwhile, in East Asia, shamanism has its own rich heritage. In South Korea, for instance, Muesm remains alive even in the skyscraper jungles of Seoul. Here, shamans, called mudang, conduct elaborate ceremonies known as gut. These are colorful, musical, and deeply spiritual events, with costumes that sparkle, songs that pierce the heart, and dances that invoke the gods. A gut can bless a business, protect a family, or heal an illness. Now let us climb high into the Peruvian Andes, where shamanism is rooted in the sacred mountains, the Apus. Shamans here are often called curanderos or pacos. They work with coca leaves, with flowers, with the very energy of the land. One of their most important practices is the despacho ritual, a sacred offering bundle filled with symbolic items like seeds, shells, candies, and prayers written on paper. The bundle is carefully assembled and then either burned, buried, or released into flowing water. And the list does not end there. In Australia, Aboriginal shamans, sometimes called clever men, enter trance states through song lines, using sacred chants that map the land itself. In the Pacific Islands, shamans have long been navigators, reading stars and ocean swells as much as the spirits of their ancestors. In Nepal and Tibet, shamans blend ancient animistic practices with Buddhist influences, drumming to summon protective deities or journey into spirit realms to retrieve lost souls. So here is the question: how is it possible that cultures separated by oceans and centuries developed such similar practices? Everywhere we see drumming, chanting, altered states of consciousness, rituals of healing, and journeys to other realms. Some anthropologists suggest that this is because shamanism reflects something universal in the human brain, something wired into our very consciousness. Others believe it is evidence of a deep spiritual truth, that the spirit world is real. Modern science is beginning to pay attention. Psychologists and neuroscientists now study shamanic rituals with tools like EEG and fMRI. Research shows that shamanic drumming shifts brainwave patterns, moving people into theta states associated with creativity and dreamlike visions. Plant medicines like ayahuasca or peyote have been studied for their potential to help treat depression, trauma, and even addiction. What ancient shamans described as soul retrieval might today be seen as a form of psychosis. But shamanism in the modern world also faces challenges. Globalization has brought shamanic practices into the spotlight, but not always with respect. Spiritual tourism is booming in the Amazon, where seekers fly in from across the world to drink ayahuasca, sometimes without understanding the cultural or spiritual context. Fake shamans exploit this demand, charging high prices for unsafe or inauthentic ceremonies. The commercialization of sacred practices raises tough questions. And yet, despite the risks, the attraction is undeniable. People from all walks of life feel the pull of shamanism. Why? Because at its heart, it is about connection. Connection to the earth, to the ancestors, to the spirits, to each other. Shamanism reminds us that we are not alone, not cut off from nature, but deeply, inescapably woven into a living web of life. Whether through the steady rhythm of a drum, the heat of a sweat lodge, the vision of an ayahuasca journey, or the song of a Korean mudang, picture this. You are sitting in darkness, the drumbeat pulsing through your body. You feel as though you are traveling, though your eyes are closed. You see colors, animals, memories, futures. You hear voices, not from outside, but from within. You realize that the boundaries between yourself and the universe are not as solid as you thought. This is the shamanic experience. It is not simply about belief. It is about a direct, lived encounter with something greater than yourself. And that is why shamanism remains alive today. It is not a relic of a primitive past. It is a living, evolving practice. In fact, some argue it may be more relevant than ever. In a world where so many feel disconnected from nature, from tradition, from each other, shamanism offers a path back to wholeness. It says, listen to the earth, honor your ancestors, respect the spirits. Remember that you are not just flesh and bone, but also energy and soul. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. Feel free to share it with a friend who loves a good mystery. And if you haven't already, please subscribe so you won't miss the next story. There's a lot more to uncover, and I'd love to have you along for the journey.